Hi there, everybody. This is Matt from the DigiCorner. It's been a while, but back here with some new content and deck profiles. So here with my top 32 regional Shinegreymon list that I ran for the uh, Sydney IRL regionals that happened just this past weekend, and also came top 8 with this list at the 64-person Ultimate Cup the previous day. Um, pretty good list that I'm running. It's basically just a Ruin Mode Turbo list that I've been kind of pitching to myself that it's the best Shinegreymon version list that's out there, or the best way to play Shinegreymon with the new AD01 cards. But yeah, kind of my matchups for the day, I'll talk about that first. Is so for the Ultimate Cup, I kind of went X1, only losing to a Gil Rush player, which unfortunately both games I bricked. I didn't see a Ruin Mode or couldn't capitalize on my Ruin Mode turns. And yeah, he basically was able to capitalize on those. But yeah, deck went pretty solid. Basically negating 10k every turn, and yeah, then having no response to it. Going into so I'll post kind of like my matchups right here somewhere on the screen. But yeah, fifth place Ultimate Cup, I kind of got fucked over by resistances, and yeah, came fifth. And then going on to the second day for the regional, um, big big blunder first round I lost against kind of the mirror, or the shine gray mirror, where I versed more of a burst mode version. Kind of game one, they saw all their pieces first, and I was couldn't see any tamers. I was too late to kind of miss the ball on that. And then game two for that game, I was basically he got me to zero security on his burst mode turn. He missed lethal, and going on to my next turn, basically I had to ruin mode him or I wouldn't have won the game. Basically, so I go a ruin mode. So I had to draw into the tamers that I needed. I basically drew 5 cards that turn, or almost 6 with the inherent draws and all that jazz. But literally the 7th card, my literal top deck was the tamer that I needed to go into ruin mode and neg 10k his turn to force a game 3. But unfortunately, that was it. But yeah, going on to the kind of third, fourth rounds, second, third, fourth rounds. Those were all wins against Melga, Imperial, and Medusa. Those 3 kind of matchups were kind of all the same, basically neg 10k to their board with Ruin Mode, and then Hard Slam Rise, which I'll go over the combo of how to like OTK, or like the basic game plan in OTK of the game is. So yeah, Medusa was a very hard fought matchup. It was against a mate that from Melbourne that came down, that came up to come play. Went back and forth. Game 3 went the distance. Game 3 had went to, like, I guess, it was basically a chicken game. Whoever raised out first had the advantage, or had like the disadvantage, and yeah, but was able to get it at the end. Was able to capitalize on him bricking on some cards, and yeah. Game round 5 was against the mate Darren, who came second, which we will it was against Omni-One Turbo, which we will do a deck profile later this week and will be uploaded quite soon. Omni-One Turbo, or Ultra S Turbo, or Ping Pong as we like to call it. But yeah, kind of he went really aggressive in terms of going into his Ultra S's, and forced me to kind of OTK him. If I couldn't, then yeah, I basically lost. Game 2 of that game, I had gone into a ruin mode to neg 10k, but I couldn't capitalize on the next turn. So he basically set up and kind of said, well, if I can't do anything, if I don't win next turn, then I basically lost. So yeah, and then I was trying to dig for the Rise Greymon BT21, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. I couldn't get there in time. Then round 6 was against another Medusa. Basically, game it was a 2-0, 10k, neg 10k, couldn't really do anything. And then last round was against another mate from the DigiCorner team, Arshad, who played Adventure. And yeah, basically same story, neg 10k, can't do anything. Yeah, and basically flood game out of the game. But yeah, kind of go into but yeah, this deck is like probably the best way to play Shine at the moment. I feel because BT 213 Shinegreymon Burst Mode is not really like there's no way to OZK unless you have like a lot of memory. It's really hard to keep turn and all that stuff. And OTK there, but if you're able to, but if you play the more rune mode, turbo, neck 10k to their board, you're easily floodgating them out of the game. Can't do anything unless they hard slam like a level 6 or and yeah, and then the next turn you just hard slam BT21 Rise and yeah, go from there. But yeah, this is a really good deck. I highly recommend this version of the deck. So going on to the deck profile. So obviously we first start with the eggs. So we play 4 Koromon from BT21. Oh no, this is BT21. They draw 1 inherit. In my version of the list, I've been iterating it a lot, and I found that the draw card or the draw inherit line is extremely from EX4, extremely consistent. You're drawing at least like 5-6 cards in one turn. Like you're basically double pot greeting every turn. It's insane. So yeah, going on to the rookies, we're running, so obviously like I said, 4 of the EX4 Agu, inherit draw 1 and start a main gain 1 memory. You're not necessarily raising this out. I've seen like the list I was inspired for other how I got inspired from this list was from another online local I saw, and they were raising this out, gaining 1 memory, but they weren't playing the memory setter, so they were kind of going off plays from 2 memory, which is like good but not really needed. He's just there for the draw 1 inherit. So yeah, and then going on to the searcher Agu, search for a Agumon and Greymon, or for a Greymon and Marcus name. Search for is good. Basically can grab you your whole line. The only thing it doesn't grab is your train, or like the options you play, and then the next card, Ukamon from BT 16. The real reason why I won this card and another card that will be shown later is that it's just for consistency. I want to see all my cards. I want to see all my pieces at all times. So playing this, this is a good turn 1 play. This is dead after turn 1. You never want to see this unless you have like nothing, and this is your only option and this is your kind of only option at times. So yeah, paying 1 for this turn 1, put on the 1 and all that jazz, like kind of self-explanatory there. Going on to the next cards, we got BT21 Geogreymon. This is good when you play it off, when you this is kind of probably one of the best cards in the deck, because it can just goes up your line for free from like less memory. You hard slam or you go Digigate open for a Marcus for either 1 or 0, depending on which one you play, and then plays out the Marcus that sees it. You evo into the Shinegreymon, or into the Rise Greymon, and yeah, basically go combo off from there. The 2k inherit is also good just to get that extra DP buff when you alliance and all that, and then also can get over some DP thresholds at certain times. So yeah, that's that. And then we're only running 2 of the BT12 player markers for free if you don't have one. Kind of outdated, and I hope they print a new one that that plays a Marcus if you have it. Like they kind of power creep it to the same level as the other level 4s that play a tamer out if you only have 1 or less. Yeah, but this is kind of only a raising type of like Geogray, you end up on raising, I guess. But yeah, if you have a searcher Agu, turn 1, go into next turn, evo into this, play a Marcus for free. If you have to search one of this, then yeah, you do that. But yeah, I'd put this at 0 if I wanted to, but yeah, just need more. But the next card I play is, like I said, EX4 Geogray to inherit draw 1, and then same effect as starter main as the EX4 Agumon. These 3 in combination, Koromon, Agumon, Geogray, you're at least drawing 3, 5. So you're drawing 3 from the inherit, you're drawing 1 from an evo from a Rise Grey, and then that's 4. You're doing a draw from a Marcus, AD01 Marcus if you have that, so that's 5. Then you're doing another evo draw from the Shine Grey when you evo into that, that's 6. Basically 6, 7 cards if you go to Ruin mode. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, drawing is good because that's what kind of this deck lacked in the past. Yeah, so I basically went in all my games. I saw all my pieces when drawing into this, and people were like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's like, how can you be drawing that much? If Mirage was in the format, we'd be screwed. But yeah, going on to the level fives, we are running, of course, the BT21 Rise Greymon. On play, when digivolving, one of your Marcuses does become a 3k Digimon with Rush and Alliance, and then one of your Digimon may swing. Basically, your bread and butter ender when you go into after you do a burst mode turn, hard play this. The next turn, make one of your Marcuses a Digimon. Or they will have two security, swing alliance with this, and then end the turn, one of your AD01 Marcuses become a Digimon and attacks the game. This is how literally I ended games all day that day, like for both days. It was just insane. The inherent or like the all turns, of course, is like the other ones to protect the Marcuses from putting in security is good. And yeah, but the fact that this is an on play is quite insane. Like that just enables so much. So yeah, really great card. So kind of if people don't know is that if your EX6, if your AD01 Marcus and end of turn becomes a 6k and you like have this, then you're and you evo a Geogray into this Rise Greymon, that Marcus, because of this effect forcing one of your Marcuses to become a 3k Digimon, that the DP will change because of the newest trigger. So yeah, to be aware of that. So yeah, so just be wary of that because like there are times where if you only have one Marcus, specifically the AD01 Marcus at the end of turn to attack, it's no longer 6k. So yeah, be aware of that. And then whether or not to alliance just to gain that extra DP is something to look at. But yeah, going on to the next one, we got BT17 Rise Greymon. BT17 Rise Greymon when digivolving, by suspending one of your Digimon or yellow tamers, one of your Digimon or opponent's Digimon gets minus 3k. This is extremely great to kind of facilitate the warping plays when you have when you don't have a Marcus that can when you don't have like a Marcus that can swing from like either one of these or from like the starter main, a BT12 Marcus that pay one to make that Marcus a 3k Digimon that can attack or that can attack and can't digivolve. This is a good way to make those Marcuses suspend to trigger the all turns or to trigger the all turns to digivolve a Digimon for free or reduce cost or whatever. So yeah, there were so many times where instead of going into this because I needed this to end game, I would go into this one instead to facilitate the ruin mode plays and go from there. And then neg 3 KDP is also good just to get over those kind of DP thresholds, like if you were to verse like Vortextramon or just anything that a Rise Grey can't kill with its negative DP, just negging like just a negative DP of like any other Digimon, just to like kind of clear the board and all that stuff. So yeah, so going on to level 6s, we are running only one of the BT 12 Rise Shinegreymon, the old one, like kind of the staple of the old version of the list. The only reason why I'm running this, and I've seen other people run like the BT21 Rise, I believe, is the one that gives security tech +1, and yeah, the security tech +1 blocker if you, if you have a suspended like tamer or something, or like yellow red tamer, whatever. This does exactly the same thing, except this one is more suited for the matchups where like you need the negative DP on the security, like Royal Knights and all that. I found that this is also good. Just gives security tech +1, which is always nice, and then neg DP. There was one mirror that I versed in the Ultimate Cup, Shine Mirror, the only Shine Mirror I versed. And he had 3 security. I evoed into this Rise, make a Marcus a Digimon, use the Marcus to evo into this Shine, and then do 3 checks, and then end the turn, swing for game. With the AD01 Marcus. So yeah, this one definitely comes up. Is yeah, all around good card. Yeah, wouldn't replace it for anything else. I'm running like a small level 6 kind of lineup. The next obviously one is AD01 Shine, kind of the best card of one of the best shines ever printed. When digivolving, when attacking, plays a Marcus from trash or hand without paying its cost, and then negs 3k DP for every Digimon and Tamer you have. So you will have a lot of tamers to neg at least 9 to 12 KDP. The highest amount of DP minus I did to one of my opponents was like 20, like 23, 25. It was insane because the mixture of like some of the other tamers, another tamer that I run was just like, yeah, just nick him to the ground. And then, yeah, the Factors Alliance, also facilitates your like the main combo for your ruin mode plays when you go into ruin mode, because you end a turn swing with you make one of your 81 markers, like 81 markers end a turn, gains 60 ADP, and then one of your Digimon may attack. You swing with this AD01 shine, alliance with the other alliance with the AD01 markers, or even whatever markers, BT12 markers you want, to evo into ruin mode for 1 or 0, and then end of turn of that ruin mode, which is the next card we'll talk to, neg 10k. So yep, next card here is Shinegreymon ruin mode, kind of the facilitator of this like kind of version of the list. Kind of ruin mode in this format, or neg DP, is such a good removal, because a lot of effects like don't affect Digimon, but if it can linger to the opponent's turn, then yeah, that's why I guess the TS Jupitermon Ruin Mode Turbo is like so prevalent at the moment, and a lot of people are playing it. Yeah, Ruin Mode's a really good card for that. So yeah, when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5k until the end of the turn when Digivolving and on deletion. So yeah, you will swing with this. And yeah, you would neg 10k to the board, and next turn you can just basically hard slam this and then swing for game with that. So going on to the Marcuses, we are playing 2 of the BT13 memory setter Marcus from on play. Suspend this tamer, and then when the tamer becomes suspended, neg 3k, and then if you have Agumon or Greymon, minus game 1 memory. I've seen, or like originally, a lot of lists are not running this card, or they run it at either 1 or something. But I found a lot of times that I am when your opponents are like memory choking you to like 1 or 2, you cannot do much with that much memory, because I don't play boost, I don't play training, so memory was a issue with this version of the deck. So I tried this at 2, and it does come up, and like just having a memory set is always nice, because yeah, being memory checked doesn't feel good. And yeah, so yeah, playing this at 2, initially I was playing it at 1, didn't see it as often as I wanted to, and then couldn't facilitate all my all these plays that I wanted to do, like the ruin mode, all that jazz. But yeah, really good card. Next Marcuses we play are the BT12 Marcus, kind of the staple of all Shinegreymon decks, to start a main, pay 1 if you have Agumon or Greymon in the same, pay 1 to make this a 3k Digimon that can attack. And then when it comes suspended, one of your yellow Greymon Digimon, yellow cards with Greymon in its name, can evo into a Greymon or whatever. So yeah, you'd preferably want to use this to evo into the Rise Grey onto the Ruin mode at the end of the turn, just because with AD01 Shine, which we'll go through next, you have to pay 1 for it. It reduces cost to 3, so this costs 4 to evo over a Shine, and it reduces it by 3, so for 1. So going on to the next one, Marcus, kind of the best Marcus, that like kind of one of the best cards ever printed, printed in the AD01 set. Your turn, when the same is suspends, draw 1, and then does the same effect as this, but reduces it by 3. And then end of turn, which is like the nuts part, if you have a yellow Digimon with Agumon and Greymon in its name, one of your Marcuses is treated as a 6k Digimon with Rush and can't Digivolve, and then one of your Digimon may attack. So yeah, bread and butter combo is to evo into either one, go into Shine, play on a Marcus, and then end the turn Marcus to make one of these Marcuses a Digimon, and then preferably one of these ones, and then evo into ruin mode, neg 10k to the board, and then ruin your day. Yeah, no pun intended. But yeah, really great card. I had recently kind of was aware that like this Marcus, if it is already a Digimon from like maybe a effect like this, you can treat this, this is treated as an Agumon because it has Agumon in the name, right? So you can make this Agumon a Digimon, or like one of another tamer of this caliber to make them a Digimon with 6 ADP. So yeah, that's something to note. But yeah, really great card. Yeah. So, and the next tamer we play is 3 Analog Youth. just kind of what I said with the Ugramon, Analog Youth is more for more consistency, and also you don't mind playing Analog Youth just because, like, even though it trashes your tamers, you don't mind it being trashed, these tamers being in the trash, because new AD01 Shine plays them from the trash, which is extremely broken. There were multiple times where throughout the days, I was playing this deck that I would play Analog Youth, trash at least like a couple of these tamers, and I would just play them off this Shine because, yeah, being able to play from trash is also great. But trash is a second hand with this card specifically, so yeah, that's really great. And then going on to the options, kind of like very, very low. We're not running any trainings, not running any boost, no nothing. We're just running 2 scrambles just to get back your ruin modes if you can't finish them that turn, or just grabbing any other piece. There are a lot of times where my opponent would bot, like, if when I was resting Medusamon in the first round, in the regional, my mate, he would bottom deck my rookies, so I wouldn't be able to play them. But little did he know is that I didn't want those rookies. I didn't want to play those rookies off this effect because I would always have a token. I wanted to grab this one because this was in my trash and I really needed it. So yeah, that was kind of for that. And then also just to reduce the evo cost is also pretty good as well. And then finally, the last 3 cards, running 3 Digicorner open. Kind of necessary in this deck just because of how many tamers you play. And just this benefiting from this effect when you play it with the Geogray, reducing the play cost by 4. So playing this for 0, playing this for 1, or getting back to 1. So this is basically for 0, and then this one for 1 as well. Just to trigger this effect, the all turns to Evo into a Geogray, into a Rise Gray is just really great. So yeah, that's the deck list at the moment. Yeah, Ruin Mode Turbo, or like Shinegreymon Ruin Mode 2, and because this deck is all in archetype, like because of this card, like compared to like stuff like the TS Jupiter version, like when your searches will bot deck this, or like their searches will bot deck this, but this Agumon will grab this automatically. So yeah, that's the reason why I think this version is like is better than any other Ruin Mode Turbo version. But yeah, and then yeah, that's kind of their deck list. Like I said, kind of combos that I'll go through right now. So yeah, going into combos or with the deck, or not even combos, like kind of like how you win the game, type of thing with Shanghai Reward Mode, with the Reward Mode Turbo version is basically, so let's say they have 5 security. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're on 5 security, and let's say you don't have, like, you're in raising, you have an Agumon into a Geogray, and you have Rise Gray in hand, or preferably you have like Rise Gray in hand, you had Ruin Mode, any Shine, and preferably either this one or this Shine Gray, Rise Gray, and DGO isn't necessary, but having at least a combination of like any of these 2 tamers, or like 3 tamers at all times, you're bound to draw it. So kind of what you do is you raise, let's say you're at like 2 memory, you go into Rise Gray for 3, draw, so that's 1 draw. Then you go into, so preferably you have like, there's like, you already have a Marcus, or you have like 1 or 2 Marcuses already on the field. So let's say you only have 1. You have this BT12 one. So you go into, you raise, make this Marcus a Digimon. It swings, draw 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. You go into, and then when this becomes suspended, you evo for 0 into preferably Shine Gray. That's a 4th draw. Or you draw from this as well, so that's 5 draws. And then play a Marcus for free. So to play this Marcus, and then this will do a check, preferably do 1 check, and then if it survives, it's great, perfect. Usually it survives like most of the time, from what from how I've played. Not sacking, not them opponents not sacking their decks, but yeah. And then end of turn, make this Marcus a Digimon. So what, we've drawn already 5 cards. Rise Gray, end of turn, this one becomes 6 Digimon. You swing with this one, declare alliance, and then when this suspends, draw 1, so that's 6 cards already. And then evoing into Ruin Mode for cost of 1, or 0 if you choose to choose this one, and then you draw another card. So that's 3, 6, 7 cards already drawn, and preferably those cards are your game enders when you finish, and then end of turn, this dies. Neg 10k and neg 5k again, neg 10 to their turn, and then pass turn. Yeah, and whether or not they can do anything, because a lot of my opponents were kind of rubbing their looking at their cards and like fucking sighing because they couldn't do jack all. Then when they pass turn, put you to 1, put you to 2, doesn't matter because you're going to just hard slam this BT. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. So you're going to hard slam BT21 rise next turn for 7. So literally for 7. Put them to 5 if they put them at 2, whatever. Make any one a Digimon. So make this one Digimon, make this one Digimon. You don't really care. You swing. So and then you then one of your Digimon may attack. So you swing with this one or that one. Declare alliance. So swing with this one. Declare alliance first. Triggers this one, or like when these cards become suspended to evo into a Shinegray. You preferably would have drawn into another Shinegray into your turn anyway, or it doesn't matter if it's this one or that one. This one you just need to do the checks. You just need to do the remainder of the checks. So that's like 3 checks. So initially over one turn you've done 1 check with this one, or with the one that you made initially with this one, and then you do 2 checks with, because you're declaring with alliance with this one, so 2 checks with the Shinegray Ruin mode. That's 3 checks. And then when you go into this one the next turn, you raise evo into either one Shine, and then with alliance generated from this one to do 2 more checks, to do the last 2 checks, and then end the turn, have the Marcus swing for game. And yeah, that's how basically I ended all my games, or how I played all my games throughout that regional and ulti cup, which yeah, my opponents kind of sighed at the fact that it's like, wow, I literally cannot play the game. Yeah, so basically ruined their game, if you tell me. But yeah, Ruin mode, Turbo, Shinegreymon Ruin mode Turbo is like such a great version of the list, and I think is the best version of the list, as I've kind of reiterated before. Burst mode unfortunately cannot do what this does perfectly, because it requires a little bit more setup, a little bit more tamers on the field than that. And yeah, and I see a lot of people still running like the Marcus, or the Agumon that makes a Marcus a Digimon as at main effect, whatever. And I think that's too slow, because having an Agumon on the field with no memory is just like kind of horrible to think. So yeah, that's why I kind of rely on all these draw ones. So basically pot greeting once or twice every turn. So yeah, drawing a lot of cards which you like, which this deck was like severely lacking in the past. But yeah, that's the deck profile. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and yeah, like and subscribe as always, and we'll be back soon with Darren's deck profile, second place deck profile with Ping Pong of Taurus. Peace.